Grand Prix circuit plays host to rounds 7, 8 and 9 of the Total Quartz Ginetta GT5 Challenge. The first of the 3 races was run over 15 minutes. It was Mike Robinson on pole position. He made a decent getaway, but Ryan Ratcliffe made an absolutely storming start in the orange and white car. He carved his way through gaps that were barely there and picked off a handful of places on the way up towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, where Sean Hyton ran wide after coming out of Druids, and Mike Robinson found himself in the lead of the race. Hyton was down to second, and Clive Richards was third. Will Burns was strong fourth, fifth was Ratcliffe, and sixth Brad Bailey, until he got involved with Gary Sims, and Sims was forced way wide up over the curb. At the head of the field, Robinson led Hyton, the gap widening between second and third. Clive Richards keeping everybody else stuck behind him. It was Ryan Ratcliffe that ran in fourth place. And up front, the battle between Robinson and Hyton continued to charge on, whilst for Druids, Richards was under real pressure from Ratcliffe, who had a go on the inside heading into the corner, but couldn't get past the tree surgeon. Gary Sims charged up the inside of Will Burns, heading down towards Hawthorns, and he picked off a place. As just up ahead of him, things had changed for third. Ratcliffe finally got past Richards, Sims was up to fifth. The Rockingham winner was pressing on. There was a chance of yet further ground to be gained before the end of the race. Robinson was busy though defending from Sean Hyton for the race lead. Richards was now defending fourth place from Sims. Gary made his move on the outside heading into Hawthorns. There was just enough room, and through he went for fourth. As in the G20 class, Matt Flowers was busy trying to fend off Mark Warnier, the two running together. And at Stirling's, Kevin Begley turned his way through in pursuit of Andy O'Brien. To the checkered flag though, Mike Robinson came through for a third victory of the season. Sean Hyton, having dominated proceedings at Alton Park, ran second, and coming across the line for third was Ryan Ratcliffe. It was all great news for Robinson as far as the championship was concerned, as he came through to score victory with Sean Hyton second and Ratcliffe third. Matt Flowers hung on to take honours in the G20s. Race 2 was a 20-minute thrash. It had Robinson on pole position, but once again Ratcliffe made one of his demon getaways and tried to go for gaps on the way up towards Paddock Hill Bend. It was Will Burns on the outside as they turned through Paddock, but behind there was mayhem. David Barker was off into the gravel, while other cars gained sideways on the inside, and Brian Murphy didn't get much further than Stirling's. With cars all over the place, the red flag was shown. There was also liquid all over the circuit, and the cement dust was put down to soak that up in readiness of the restart. This time around, Flowers and Sims both had to start from the pit lane after damage, and Clive Richards didn't get very far before he was turned sideways at the first corner. More mayhem, and people went wide into the gravel in avoidance. JJ O'Malley was lost from the race, and he wasn't the only one. One corner, mayhem. Ryan Ratcliffe lost out to Graham Johnson as the cars worked their way down towards Hawthorns. But Ratcliffe hung on to the inside line and tried to retake the place as they turned their way through the right-hander. Sims was making good progress from the pit lane. Thiago Calvert had his vision obscured after contact and damaged the left-hand side of the car. The leaders worked their way out of Clark Curve and headed up towards the start and finish line, with Will Burns going great guns at the head of the field, joining the Sean Hyton Mike Robinson party. Hyton went to the outside line as they turned into Paddock, and he took the race lead. Robinson stuck behind Burns for third, and Ryan Ratcliffe fourth as they climbed uphill towards Druids. Once in front, Sean Hyton started to make progress. He started to pull clear of the battle for second place, and Mike Robinson was busy trying to retake second spot from Will Burns. The G20 battle, Brian Murphy had got himself up onto the tail of Mark Warnier, those two cars squabbling as they ran up towards the right-hander of Westfield. There was another good fight behind as well, Luke Davenport versus Brad Bailey, but Davenport made contact with Bailey on the way to Stirling's. Bailey went off into the gravel. Davenport was excluded for his part in the accident. Mike Robinson had had a drama and fallen down the order. He was playing catch-up, working his way to the outside of Ben Constanduros, going up towards Paddock Hill Bend, but Constanduros stood his ground on the inside line and held on to the place. Robinson would eventually gain a couple of places, but his work was going to come to naught. Sadly for him, more dramas meant that the race was stopped, and that meant that on the countback, Robinson slipped back down to 8th position. With cars in dangerous places, there was no restart, there wasn't time for that. They'd done enough distance to declare a result, and Sean Hyton was the winner with Ryan Ratcliffe second,